Good Monday morning. I hope you all had a productive and profitable weekend and lots of fantastic open houses. Okay, so today we're going to chat a little bit about a preview for tomorrow's sales meeting at noon, and we'll also talk about your updates and successes on property tax protesting, what you're doing to prospect clients and service your clients there, and then our Waller Group for Sale by Owner program, and then review our KDNA numbers. So, and some of your wins for the week. So let's first chat about the property tax protest. Just as a reminder, 20 people a day, make it a goal, 20 people a day to talk to about property tax protesting. So how is it that you can do this? Through social media, through targeting people that are in your geo farm. You could target them through LinkedIn, sending the messages on LinkedIn, finding them on using our US People Search. We subscribe to that, so you guys get that for free as a monthly subscription that the brokerage subscribes to. And then something else that you could do is through Facebook, creating a Facebook group for your geo farm and naming it, Friends of Castle Hills or whatever your area is, and then offering that service for free. And have them make comments on there, make requests on there to create engagement and a sense of community. So Sarah Jones has been doing a great job creating that sense of community in her area, hosting that block party. Your Facebook group for that area for your geo farm is another great way to promote block parties and pick up dates and times for charity drives or coat drives. The people are cleaning out their closet this time of the year. They're taking out their winter wardrobe, putting in their spring clothes, making out with the old, in with the new. So keep that in mind. How can you maybe host something, a neighborhood pickup, and create some engagement there where you're capturing their contact information? That's why your open houses in your geo farm is so important too, because you're able to capture contact information to increase your database there in your geo farm. So the stronger your hook is as far as what you're offering. If you're offering people a $50 Amex card, they're probably going to give you their information for that. So same goes with these property tax protests. Timing is real critical. We only have a couple more weeks to be able to use that as a hook to help people. So you guys have the comparables, so use that. Make it a real goal, 100 people a week to talk to about your property tax protests. Okay, the Waller Group for Sale by Owner program. You guys are making great progress there, so keep up the good work. I'm seeing record number of new for sale by owners coming on the market. So make sure that you are signed up on Zillow. You're being alerted of those new for sale by owners. You're previewing those for sale by owners, and keep in mind the numbers. You may want to watch the Waller Group for Sale by Owner open house training again. Some of our agents have watched that 2, 3, 5 times over and over again. To pick up the technique and knowing your numbers of what your expectations are. It takes more than just popping by a few occasionally. Broaden your search. Maybe you'll have to definitely go outside of your geo farm. Your geo farm is your primary target, but your secondary target could be maybe a 10-mile radius. What I usually suggest is not more than about a 15-minute drive from your house or your home office for your for sale by owner program, and to implement that. And the more you do, even outside of your geo farm, it's more practice. That way you're building your skills for the geo farm. The other thing is that you'll have to preview, if you talk to 50 people that are for sale by owners, then keep in mind the numbers. You'll probably want to preview about 20 to 30 of those. And out of those previews, then you want to have your top 10 that you're going to capture listings from. And you should be able to capture a listing on at least 2 out of 50 people that you talk to as far as for sale by owners. So are you doing that? What are your current numbers? Where are you? So make sure you chat with Richard and you update him this week on where you are with that and how many a week, because we know that lead follow-up is what attributes to these for sale by owners. When I beta tested this myself a little over a year ago in March, then I only worked 2 Saturdays, 8 hours, basically 8 hours a day on Saturdays, previewing for sale by owners. And out of those 2 Saturdays, I captured, I think it was 5 transactions and 4 for sale by owners, if I remember right. It's a total of about $62,000 in commissions, if I remember right, from working 16 hours basically. So make sure that you know your numbers so you know what to expect on that. And this is the time of the year, months of November and December, there's very few FSBOs to go around. So again, just like the protest, this is the time of the year to be having those open houses every week, to be targeting for sale by owners and following up with those FSBOs every week, and also to be working your geofarm and door knocking. So tomorrow's sales meeting, we'll have Craig here from Service First Mortgage. Craig does all of the marketing for Service First Mortgage, so he's a great resource. He has a marketing background. He knows all the marketing tools, what works, what doesn't work for agents, and he's also going to explain how their new app works for helping you guys with your prospects when it helps with closing statements and with fees, and it's a customized app that is for our market that should be really helpful. So be sure to attend that tomorrow, 11:15 to noon. I think they're also providing lunch for us after. Let's go through our KDNA numbers. So congrats, Sarah Jones. Sarah Jones was over goal last week in her contacts that were sent out. So 4,600 contacts that were sent out. Now that's through Facebook on social media. So promoted posts, using your conversion buyer page, your conversion seller page. Those are free tools that you have that we pay for. Make sure you're using that weekly, and just a few dollars a week through promoted posts, promoting buyer searches and promoting those seller CMAs will yield great returns. So, but you have to do it consistently, and you have to follow up with all of them immediately. So make sure that you're doing that. Sarah had 45 contacts last week, and she also had an open house, and she had 12 new prospects. I assume a lot of those came from the open house, and she opened a sale and took a listing. That's a productive, profitable week. Great job, Sarah. And I also want to give Sarah kudos for being nominated for D Magazine, one of their top realtors for last year. So kudos to you, Sarah. Jill is right there next to her. Jill had a closing last week, and Jill also was over goal in her number of hours previewing, 17 hours previewing, and she also had 3 buyer appointments that she held and 2 buyer rep agreements, and also a closing. So very productive week for Jill. Good job. And it looks like she had 53 new contacts. So she was still able to put her time in there for prospecting and to talk to new contacts. So Jill, let us know where those contacts came from. That's great. Justin looks like he also had an open house. Good job. Mackie, a fairly new agent with us, had an open house. So good job. Added 5 people to her prospect database, and then also had 6 hours of training. So as a new agent, training is so important. Barbara, also 3 hours of training. Barbara also had 6 new prospects and a buyer agreement. So good job, Barbara, and also sent out 103 either postcards or marketing pieces. So Barbara, be sure to put in your notes, all of you, for category number 4, put in your notes what the marketing piece is. That's very helpful. What is the call to action in that marketing piece? If you're just branding and you don't have a call to action, then unless you have market presence, and market presence means that you're closing about 10% of the total sales in that market area, then I suggest don't spend money on branding. Make sure it's direct response marketing. One of the great trainers I learned a lot from years and years ago when I was 25 was Craig or Tony. Oh gosh, now I can't remember. He was a Canadian agent, one of the top Remax agents in the world. Craig Proctor, that's his name. He still has websites he sells, but it's all direct response marketing, and that's what taught me a lot about direct response marketing and how powerful that is. So that requires a call to action, and making sure you have keep in mind you have to have credibility first before your call to action will be people will take action, actually respond to it. So keep that in mind with your direct response marketing. So offering a free CMA, offering tax protest comps to lower their taxes, offering buy one get one free certificates from the neighborhood hot dog place, or whatever is in your community that would create response. That's a great way to capture information, and the tools on conversion are free. Great tools to do that. Rupal, looks like Rupal had 3 hours in training and had 8, it looks like 8 hour contacting. Good job on your hours contacted. You know, it looks like last week, Jill had the most hours contacting. So she spent 12 hours making contacts. And to me, the hours that you're making contacts is almost should correlate with your number of hours that you're working. So if you are at your highest and best use of your time, then it's generally prospecting or creating new business. You can generally delegate out most of the other tasks if you're a strong listing agent. So how many hours are you spending consistently a week on prospecting or developing new business? And that's where that category 3 is so important, the number of hours. I'd like to ask each of you each week, how many hours are you working this week? And you know, we know that working with buyers requires time showing buyers. So working with sellers is generally a 1 hour listing appointment, and you delegate the other areas around that job. So that's why it's so much more profitable to work with sellers. And we want to make sure that you're spending your time with your highest and best use time allocation. Okay, so Nina, looks like Nina had 10 contacts that she made last week, and she also had a closing. Good job, Nina. And it looks like she had 5 people she added to her database. Saran had an open house. Good job, Saran. And also 14 contacts last week. So, you know, if you're doing 15, 20 contacts a week, that's not going to be enough to meet your income goal. For you to meet your annual minimum Waller Group income goal, which is $100,000 a year, you have to be making at least 50 contacts a week, closer to 100 contacts a week if you're a newer agent. So if you're not making that amount of engagements, which a contact is engagement, whether it's on Facebook or whether it's an email, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's a phone call, whether it's a face-to-face, a contact is not just sending something out, but it's a dialogue. It has to go both ways before it counts as a contact. So you have to have 50 different people minimum a week before you have enough contacts and engagement that will lead to appointments. And then of course those appointments will lead to listings or buyer sales. So if you don't have the contacts, then you won't have the appointments and you won't have the listings or the buyer sales, which of course leads to income, right? Okay, so that's where make sure that you're talking with Richard about that every single week and thinking my income goal of $100,000 a year in gross commissions, or if it's $500,000 a year, whatever it is in gross commissions, then how many contacts do I have to make to lead to the listing appointments required to get me there? So if you're not making that progress, if there's a variance between the goal and what's happening week to week, let me know. I want to get involved and help you with that too, because that's what we're here for, is to refine this so that way you can move closer to closing. Listings taken. So let's look at listings taken for last week. So it looks like Sarah was on our lead for listings taken. So this is the time of the year to be taking listings. Make sure that you're focused on listing business development, because typically, historically, strong listing agents, they build up their listing inventory in the spring and summer, and then that burns off through the year. But the top listing months out of the year are May and June. March and April are where the market trends up. May and June are the peak months when there's the most transaction history, or the most transactions are happening. And June is generally the busiest month of the year. We know 65% of total moves take place during the summer months, and June is the pinnacle month. So if your people are thinking about selling and they want to take advantage of the summer market with the peak sales, when you look at the ebb and flow of the sale prices each year, because the market is cyclical, June is the peak month. So are you spending every waking moment creating value for your clients? Are you having open houses on Sundays? Are you talking to all of these for sale by owners? Are you using your time? You're allocating your time. That's all we have as professional salespeople at your highest and best use, which is being in front of more buyers and sellers. So for sales closed, looks like Corey had a sale that was closed as well last week, and he had 20 new contacts, and he also had 5 new prospects that he entered. So for making 20 contacts to get 5 prospects, that's pretty good. So generally the agents that work by referral, or if a lot of their business is coming as referral, then they're going to have a very high contact to prospect ratio, or contact to appointment ratio. And that's why we look at your contacts each week. We want to see, out of those contacts that you're making, how many of those are turning into prospects or appointments. If you're just making 100 contacts a week and they're not moving into prospects or appointments, then there's something wrong here. Maybe you're talking to people that are just renting property and they're not even qualified to buy. Maybe you're talking to people that are not motivated, and they're random renters that just signed a lease. So that's where we want to find out, who are you talking to? Are you talking to homeowners? Because generally homeowners, depending on how old the homeowner is and depending on life changes such as family additions, or such as divorce, or a death, or a job promotion. So people that have a lot of change going on in their life are people that are going to be moving if they're homeowners. So think about this. Are you working with wedding planners? Are you working with CPAs? Are you working with attorneys? Who are some great referral partners, and how good of a job are you working the relationships with those referral partners? So those are some things that we want to always be thinking about. Okay, wins for the week. Jill Bell, closing one of her buyers. Great job, Jill. Rupel, 30 voice-to-voice contacts, 20 from door knocking in her farm area. So congrats, Rupel, for that. I applaud you for the door knocking. The consistency with door knocking is important. And when they see your open house signs, and when they see your just listed, your just sold cards, then all of those things working together is what attributes to success with geofarming. And Rupel has done a good job of being consistent, and we want to make sure that you're building every one of those legs to be successful with your geofarming. Sarah Jones, mentioned in the Dallas Morning News in conjunction with her block party that she co-hosted, sent 1,000 just sold postcards, already generated 1 listing and 1 buyer. Great job, Sarah. So those just sold cards, it not only reiterates credibility, but I guarantee that with the block party, with her logo on the back of her truck, with other things, it's all these things working together that creates the momentum that builds a business, because that's what you guys are. You're business owners, and you have to run it like a business. Rose and Jesse started working FISBOs for the first time. All right, girls, feel more confident and will continue this prospecting activity. Great job, Rose and Jesse. That is fantastic. I'm so proud of you. You have so much talent and so much experience. You're doing those FISBOs a disservice if you're not working with them. And that is an attitude that is so important to have, that a coach told me when I was 26 years old. He said, Logan, until you understand that all those poor sellers out there, you are doing them a disservice by not working with them. If they go to some brand new KW agent that's never closed a deal before, just because that agent's knocking on their door as an expired or as a FISBO, and here you have all the experience and you have all these resources and tools, if you're not working with them and prospecting them, then you're doing a greater disservice by them not getting your benefits and your expertise. And that was a real paradigm shift in my thinking. So you guys have to develop the skills first, and make sure that you're doing that day in and day out, building those skills. And those skills come from practicing on for sale by owners. Sometimes these are the most sophisticated sellers. So how much are you learning each week to build your skill by interacting with these for sale by owners? So good job, Rose and Jesse. Venus hosted 2 open houses, and she picked up 2 A buyers from referrals. So we know the referral business is the most profitable. So keep that engine plugging and take advantage of this spring, summer market and have fun. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you next week. Have a productive and profitable week.